No time for an introduction this time. We're getting going.
Hey, Ulrich! You know I
We have
broke
quite a
up
bit of
with
mission to
William?
get through.
It
It's
wasn't
almost
working
20
out.
minutes.
He's too weird.
So,
Really? If you noticed, it must be really bad.
huh.
Why do you say that? Anyway, what's important for you is that I'm single again.
Cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, really? Cool.
Feels good.
Oh, Ulrich, I've been waiting for this moment for so long.
I don't know, man. I don't
Go
buy
ahead.
that from you.
Ask me.
Okay. You know Matthias sits next to me in English class? He's nuts about
What
it.
a jerk.
You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, you're such a jerk!
She agrees with me.
Why do I want to become a journalist? To make my dream come true and win the Pulitzer.
Wait a minute, her
Pulitzer?
dream is to win a
Talk about
Pulitzer
dream.
Prize.
I've tried it. It's totally disgusting.
Seems like a very
No,
high-level
dummy.
dream for
The
someone of that
Pulitzer
age,
Prize
but
is an award
or
that's given
maybe
to
it's
the
more
best
that it's
journalists.
specific, and
Oh,
you have to
mean
know what a
it's not
Pulitzer
dish with
is.
Sausages,
and
beans, and peanut butter.
I wonder if Millie's parents are
Children,
journalists.
ready for the day?
Because that would
Yeah.
kind of explain her
Life's always
interest
better
in it.
after a good breakfast.
Quite right, Sonny.
Hey,
Oh
sir,
my, they used
what's
a
for
return
lunch
trip
for
to the
snack bar?
past for the
Sorry,
purpose of
no
actually
idea.
making kind of a
Not my
joke,
responsibility.
How
which
about a
they
bet?
did
If
here.
I win, you give me some days off.
Okay.
I could wager a
Didn't they do that a
couple
lot
of
in the
hours of
series?
detention if you keep talking
Well,
to me like
at least
that,
they kind of
Mr.
gave a nod to people who
Dellarobia.
watched the show from the beginning
May I
now.
remind you that I'm your
In the second to last mission of the game.
Hi there.
Any
Anyway,
news of XANA?
No, but the super scan has picked up suspicious activity in the mountain sector.
suspicious activity? That
And
has
it's got
nothing to do with
do
XANA.
Very
Three
strange.
guesses as
Come
to
on,
who's
Let's take a
responsible.
look.
I'll start up the
And it shouldn't take you more than one.
The signal source is in front of you.
So, we go to the mountain
Charge
sector again, and we're, again, on Lyoko. So, here I just kind of mess around with breaking rocks, because I really honestly don't know why. There's no reason for me to do that. A bunch of ice blocks show up here. So, I just decided to run past them after a certain point, because really, why would I bother fighting them? Unfortunately, I make the mistake of not realizing that you do have to destroy these beam blocks. The black ones. So, I guide them into the tunnel and use it as a way to ambush them, I guess. Yeah, sure, I meant to do that. And a couple more pop up. So I kill that one. And then I bounce on top of this one to confuse it repeatedly before killing it. Or something. Who cares? So, the bridge is made for us. And we get the save point. And, oh, wait, what? Oh, wow. There's a glitch in the Matrix. Or, Lyoko. That's kind of a really, really big clipping problem to be this late in the game. And then here I fail at building, or basically I'm failing at DDR here because that's what this is. It's just a 3-direction only version of DDR. And there we go. Got a platform in the second go. Oh look, it's our friend the crab that you have to use telekinesis on. Or, you know, you can just run here because there's no actual requirement to fight it. It's kind of sad, but well, get past them. Checkpoint, and let's fly away. And by the way, you probably noticed Aelita got hit during the whole. Yeah, she gets hit multiple times during this process, and yet it doesn't really cause any problems because her health is high enough to just go ahead and take the shots. Oops. Well, that happens. So remember how I said that the level design was getting better at this point? Yeah, it is. We'll see why here in a minute, but here's a nice enemy placement. You know, if this were a no upgrade run through, I'd be in serious trouble right there. So, yeah, I just use her to blow away all the enemies. And I use her ability that when she lands, if you let go of the attack button as she's in the air, it'll automatically fire. Grab another one of the goodies that the game just sets right in an area you have to move through. I'm surprised how many of those there are. And then you hit a button, and the platforms start moving again. This time you're on top of the really fast-moving platforms. So... I break a bunch of blocks for no good reason whatsoever. Switch over to odd, and... Oh, of course. Of course the suspicious activity is caused by the giant floating blue ball thing. Also known as Aelita's dad.
This can't be happening. I get the data, but I have no idea where it's coming
But of course this
from.
is an actual Season 4, so they haven't actually found him yet.
That's it. It's Franz Hopper. I recognize his digital signature.
You mean that
I do
ball of light is
theoretically
Franz
wonder
Hopper?
why he's the only one who's a ball of light. Like, couldn't he have given Aelita the ability to fly before Jeremy figured it out? By allowing her to maybe transmogrify into a ball of light?
And how long will that
Is it some
take?
subconscious
Because things are going
thing
south
where...
here. Xana's monsters are
I mean, I really don't
attacking
know
Franz
how
Hopper.
it all works exactly.
I don't know. Cover France.
I absolutely have to recover all the
Cover
data,
him, huh?
Understand?
Okay.
Well, I'm sure that'll be a problem. I'm sure they'll continue shooting at him. Oh, wait. By cover him, you mean don't die. Got it. So it sends a lot of the special type of enemies after me. The melee tarantulas, the pulse crabs, and the ice blocks. And I get insane amounts of points for killing these guys. The game really does want you to have all the upgrades by the end, even though you definitely do not need
Until
them.
the data transfer is finished.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, that one enemy just gave me like 3,000 or 4,000 points, and that one gave me like 2K, and it's just ridiculous.
The transfer's over. Thanks, guys.
Oh, so the
Thanks
transfer's
to you,
over. They
I've
just
got
all kind
all
of
Franz
stop.
Hopper's data.
They don't continue attacking you or him, and they all just vanish by the time the cutscene rolls around.
No. Are you okay? Yes, I think so.
I suppose this would be the closest thing to an Oscar clip that this game
We're ready,
has.
Jeremy.
Okay, I'm sending you to the skids.
Oh well. No time for emotion. We got stuff to kill. And we have
Watch out. Here comes Xana
probably
Robo
the
Party.
second hardest
Release.
skid stage in the game. Appropriately so, because it's the second to last. But this one is very interesting. There are no items in this stage. You go through the entire thing with your base 4 shots. I failed this twice in the raw footage before I managed to succeed. And see, I've already lost that much health. As I stated, there's no way to get your health back in this. So, yeah, it's kind of difficult little sequence. And it gets a little worse. So we had that barrage of enemies that required 3 shots apiece to kill early. Or was it 2 shots? Whatever. We have the bombing manta, which there shows up by itself for no good reason. We have the grabby things. The dangerous and sinister grabby things that try to kill you by, you know, being grabby things. Also, if you're locked onto something when it attaches to you, that lock-on is still used up if you have to try and lock onto other things. So, that's a problem. And oh look, a shark. Luckily I take this one out with absolutely absurd speed, so it doesn't get a chance to barrage me to death, like in the previous attempt. This is probably the most difficult stage in the game, just because it finally really takes the kid gloves off and starts pummeling you with stuff that requires some thought and logic and effort to get through. The skid stage here, the boss at the end of this, which as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, is the best boss in the game. It's the best designed boss in the game by far, and it's the most difficult.
Recovery.
Oh yeah, you have the most difficult fight with William in the game here too, coming up. So, let's go ahead and get on with it then. I adjusted the brightness again for the Volcano sector. I apologize if it kind of messes with it. The program I have only has a brightness adjustment for auto color correction, and I have no idea why and what kind of effect that really has. I adjusted the brightness last time. I don't remember exactly how I did it last time, to what level I adjusted it. So I apologize if this looks really bad. But I'm just using this program to finish up this series. I am going to start using Adobe for just about everything else from this point on. Because this one was basically free. Or, well, it came with the thing I used to record the game footage, but it's bad. It's just, it's not even worth free. And that's a bad sign. So, here I break everything for no reason, because I'm silly. And use Aelita to fly again. You do quite a bit of flying with her, especially when you're going to look for the random goodies, but you also do quite a bit for these last few stages. I think you use her flight either the same number of times or more times than you use Ulrich's little speed ability. And I guess I was just not really caring to switch characters here, so I just use Aelita to kill all the flying monsters. It works out pretty well for me. Especially because, yeah, you might have actually noticed her blast actually has a damage radius. So if you hit something, then it can kill the things right next to it, or cause damage to the things next to it. Which might explain why this Volcanoid actually dies so quickly once I finally start hurting it. Because I keep sending triplicates after it, and none of them get through, and then it's dead in like a hit or two. I think the blasts from Aelita's attack were actually hitting it through its shield. It would be interesting to actually try and test out how if that could actually kill it before I switch to Ulrich, but I'm not gonna. I don't have any plans to do that. Jump, jump. And yeah, here I'm going after another very well hidden item. There we go. I may as well stick with Ulrich because, oh look, I have to break down another wall. Quick time events. They're quite fun, actually. Or pointless. Same thing, right? So yeah, here I fail, but there's actually dialogue that doesn't get repeated if you screw up. So I left that in here.
While you confront him. Keep at it.
And now I'm doing the actual run that succeeds. So yeah, Ulrich can now use his super smoke effect pretty much whenever he wants. Or his pull effect pretty much whenever he wants. So you want to be as far away from him as possible, and you want to get rid of all the beam creepers that he has as backup. Because, for one, they drop health items, which I did not realize until I was rewatching this. And two, or maybe the last one only drops health items. And two, he's a lot easier to take down when the only thing you have to worry about otherwise is the Volcanoid and falling off the platform if you're an idiot. But I had good reflexes, I guess. And, as usual, killing William destroys everything that's left. So that's why it might be interesting to blitz him, but, again, you can only really fight him with Odd once. So at this point, you don't have the ability to use Odd against him effectively, I don't think.
Destroy the supercomputer. Who's staying with the skid?
I'll do it.
Okay, Odd. The rest
Wait a
of
minute.
you, get
We don't
ready
have
for
Odd for this
translation.
boss? Oh, yes. We do not have Odd for this boss. Which means it's going to be a lot more interesting than the previous ones. Aw, it's sleeping. Uh-oh. Are those eyes? Uh-oh. So here's how this boss fight works. You barrage the shoulders until they die. Oh, and as you do damage to the shoulders, he starts creating these energy effects on the ground that you can't touch, because it'll hurt you, of course. And the desert has cracks in the shape of the XANA symbol. Impressive. Either way, though, you break the two shoulders eventually, and all that damage goes away. And now it has its arms. So it starts firing blasts at you again, and you can't hurt it until after it does this cross attack. You'll see the energy around that thing while it's actually doing the weird cross attack. And you have to use Ulrich to hit it. Nobody else, you can't lock onto it, which means you have to use Ulrich to slash at him. And here he chases you with spikes. So again, it's pattern recognition, but it's definitely the most impressive pattern the game has had. So you run in there, you attack it again, and then as soon as those come up, you need to move. You have about a second, and dashing is no better than just standard running. So standard running is your best bet. In fact, if you dash, there's a chance you'll dash in the wrong direction if you're not careful. Because I've done it, so it's possible. There you have to time your jumps over the blast waves, slashing them again. This might seem really easy, but in the raw footage I had to do this twice. And it's not these first two phases that are a problem. It's the last phase. He starts blasting, waves, ouch. And there's that. When you do get hit, it takes off a good chunk of health. So you really have to not screw up. It's not my favorite boss fight, but as I said, best designed one. And here's part of the reason why. Now he's out of the ground. Now he can move. And he has 4 tiny XANA symbols on his legs. They only take 1 hit to take out, but Yumi's the fastest character to do it. He's moving. It's hard to lock onto all of them. And then again, you have to switch back to Ulrich to do damage to the abdomen. I don't even know, the bulb on him. Whatever. And technically, as I showed there, you can attack it while he's doing his little thing, but that's just crazy. And here you see me getting punished by the fact that this guy's just evil. You usually get at most about 3 legs in a single lock-on. But it is possible to get all 4. And it is possible to use Aelita for this, but it's not a good idea. She's not quick at all. And the blast radius doesn't seem to have an effect. There's 2 legs, 3, 4. Switching to Ulrich preemptively. Good move. And I think I finish it off here.
Done.
Yes.
Now we
Finish it
move on
off
to
right
the
before he starts
supercomputer.
launching
Don't
his
forget to
attack.
pick up Odd. We're
Success! The mission is finally over. Whoa. Also has a great death animation. What's with this core? You know what? Never mind. We succeeded.
Only one supercomputer left to destroy.
The final gate
Still no
is
sign of
destroyed.
William? Don't
We can
worry.
reach the inner
I've sent his
sanctum.
signal thanks to Franz Hopper's program. With
Next
that,
time
the
we
super
recover
scan should be
William
able to locate
and defeat
William.
XANA once and for all.
Your father
So I will
helped a
see you
lot.
then.